Welcome to Minutes by Minutes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kennedy.
And we're here to talk about what goes on in the village, the townships. You know, those government people that make laws and regulations that affect you out there.
That's right, Elgin. And whether you live in the village of Oxford, the village of Leonard, Oxford Township, or Addison Township, these are the people that you elected. And the commissions and the committees that make decisions that directly affect you, whether you chose to go to that meeting or not. And that's why we're here.
Oh, partially. We're here also to check out the humor that comes out of these meetings.
Oh, there is humor.
There is. And it kind of bubbles to the top.
Or sinks to the bottom.
Like a bowling ball. And as Dave says, you want to attend these meetings because if you don't, that humor may come back in the form of a large tax. Right?
I would have said, but you weren't there.
Right, yeah, I said you weren't there. The other thing, too, is that one of us spreads rumors, kind of. You know, I'm not going to say, well, you know.
And I confirmed them.
He does. Okay, well, let's talk about a couple of meetings that came up. Actually, let's talk about three meetings if we have the time for it. One is Leonard Village Council meeting that they had. The little village of Leonard. Always enjoy talking about Leonard. Great
yes.
little town.
Yep.
Oxford Township, ZBA, Zoning Board of Appeals, and the last one we're going to talk about is the Pollyant Trail.
Pollyant Trail.
Council meeting that they had. You know, so it was an interesting meeting, all three of them. And actually, the Leonard Village Council, headed up by Mike McDonald. And by the way, St. Patrick's Day is just around the corner, and Mike McDonald mentioned that. All the
Is
Irish
that
people.
MC or MAC? I think it's MC.
I think it's MC.
So he's Irish.
Yeah, well, I know he's the MC of this village council. He pretty much handles it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Nice segue.
Right. Shar Sotheby serves on that board, as well as, let me see, who else is on that board? Mr. Hoffman.
Almaretti?
Yeah, and Almaretti, and Mr. Kennedy. And the treasurer is Judy Verse. And let's see, check out Cindy Grosskopf, which she was excused. She wasn't there.
Okay.
Okay. She usually makes all these meetings, so, you know, we let her have one time off. Anyway, the first thing that they did, of course, is did the Pledge of Allegiance, got the preliminaries, you know, pretty much shuttled out of the way. And let me see, they did the minutes, of course, which is pretty common. The agenda that they had is they added a letter from, let me see, from the Free Methodist Church in Leonard. And it boils down to this. The letter said that they know that Roland Hall doesn't have the space or the facilities to be able to handle large groups of people. You know, if you're going to have a party or something along that line where they serve food.
Or a torches and pitchfork meeting.
Yeah, or one of those. But anyway, anywhere they have food and people that have to go to the bathroom, not a good place to go.
Right.
So they're going to offer their community center at the church.
Oh,
So
very good.
pretty good arrangement. They left that to Mike McDonald, you know, to converse more about it and see exactly, you know, what facilities they can use. So good deal.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Nice move. Nice
Everybody-
move on their part.
Yeah, and I find in Leonard, pretty much people all congregate together if there's issues, and they resolve them, you know, through common sense approach. Good thing for government and the community. So anyway, so that was kind of covered. Treasurer's report was read and filed, and let's see, the budget adjustments were made also for 2016-2017. They moved $1,250 into, where did they move that from? From the inspector's budget.
Peter DePaul.
Yeah, right. Yeah, from those people. Then they did a $150 from some other fund. We'll name that one. And dues and seminars, they took $750 from it. And sanitation, they took $250. And cell plan, or cell.
They balance their budget.
Yeah.
They
Actually,
rebalance their budget. How's that?
right. Actually, they took all this money from those different accounts so that they could have the money to operate. Does that make sense? Maybe not. This could be a rumor.
This could be.
Okay, we'll spread the rumor.
Let's just say they put the money where it was needed.
Yeah, and furthermore, they just discovered gold in the back of
No.
Roland Hall. So that would be another rumor that will spread. Okay, so anyway, they also, let me see, they had a decrease of what? Okay, let me think about this. Accounts payable. In other words, bills.
You were writing pretty fast,
I
weren't
was
you?
writing really fast. This is called shorthand. This would be the shorthand. Anyway, so let me see. The general fund, they had $29,114.69
Okay.
that they had to pay bills out of. Then they have a major fund. They pulled it out of several funds, as you know, of $12,667.06. That was $12,667.06. Then they have a local fund, $174, and they have a mill park recreation fund, which they pulled no money out of. I don't think they have a lot of money in there. For you folks want to donate
This is for the construction of the old mill?
from the old mill, yeah.
Oh.
And for you folks that would like to help them out financially, get a hold of the Township Hall and talk to the people there. And
Especially if you'd like the place
They'll-
to go when you're walking the Pollyant Trail.
they turn you upside down, shake the change out, move on with it. Any public comment? No?
No.
No public comment. Also, Planning Commission appointments. They have an issue that a couple of the people serving on the Planning Commission have expired their terms. One is Phyllis Rowe and the other one is Melissa Musgrove. And they're not going to be serving on the board, so they need two new people for the board in Leonard. So if you folks want to be on the Planning Commission, again, contact them and say, hey, I have a little experience or I have a lot of experience. I'd like to help out. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's see. The two vacancies, one of the vacancies, though, I know should be filled by one of the council members. So at this time, they had a quorum. They had 3 people. A couple of members were missing. So President McDonald said, I'd like to make sure that we have a full house. That's in cards, isn't it? Full house.
A super quorum?
A super quorum. Yeah, I'd like to have everybody here, to decide who we can who we can get to do this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's going to come up in probably the next meeting. Request for bids for repair of the brick in Roland Hall building. I don't know if you realize, but when you walk by, the bricks fall off and they've been hitting people and
What do they call that? Point and something.
tuck.
Point and tuck. Okay.
Yeah. How'd I know that?
I don't know.
Done it once
You
or
knew
twice.
the other half.
Could say point and run. That would be a way to do it too. A lot of politicians do that. They point and run. You look over there, they're gone. Okay, we don't do that
Then they
though.
tuck and cover.
They tuck and cover, yeah. So anyway, they agreed that they would get 3 bids to see if they can correct this brick from falling off the building or deteriorating. They want to fix it before it goes beyond fixing. Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got a lot of pretty
How
neat-
old is that building?
Oh, it's got to be older than Moses, older than you. It's pretty old.
Well, Leonard was formed back in the 1890s, wasn't it? 1800s.
1860s, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, right
Around the
after
Civil
the
War.
Civil War.
Wow.
Actually, Oxford was too. A little before there, I think, the Civil War, wasn't it? You remember the date?
No.
Take a note. Okay. It's got a bunch of stacked yellow ones over here from the past.
They're all coded by color. The yellow
Right.
ones are the oldest.
Got it. I understand it. Okay, so let me see. They also want to approve all the meeting dates in the village. It's going to be coming up, various committees and so forth.
Yeah.
So they reviewed that quickly and it was approved.
Good.
Hold
Good.
on.
Now I can do my schedules.
Right. Now another subject came up, which is kind of dear to your heart, and that would be PEG fees. What's interesting is Leonard has accumulated this account for quite a period of time, and it's called PEG fees, and they don't know what to do with it. So finally, I think it was Shar Sotheby, who's on this board. She said, "Well, you're supposed to pay out the PEG fees 100%, to the station." Oh, we need to do that, and so they went ahead and they approved it.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Right, and so we kind of had a windfall of about $6,200.
What?
Yeah, that's what
From Leonard?
From Leonard. Bless you, Leonard. Okay,
Good job.
yeah, really. Now, I think franchise fees, of course, are something different than PEG fees.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
so you know about that and how that works and how it doesn't work.
Franchise fees are, the municipality gets it,
Mm-hmm.
but it chooses how much to give to the public station.
Yeah, we say, we want it all. They say, no, you're going to get half of it.
Oh.
That's the way it works.
But the PEG fee is different.
PEG fees are different. That's political and educational and what else?
Political?
Yeah, politics.
Programming,
Programming,
educational,
yeah.
and government.
See, I'm going to make
You
up things
almost
here.
doubled up on politics and government there.
I got his attention really quick here. Did you notice that? He had that kind of wrinkly forehead look. Good job, David.
Thank you.
Okay, so anyway, so Peg Feast will now be coming to the station. Good thing for the station.
Thank you,
here.
Leonard.
Thank you, Leonard. Interlocal agreement, a PATMC agreement, which is for the Pollyant Trail. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but a 5013C donation classification requires quite a bit of money to get that designation. Well, the Pollyant Trail has that, be able to accept donations from manufacturers and larger entities.
Right.
Leonard does not. As a small town, they don't really have the money to be able to get that recognition or that document. So they're going to ask.
For the government?
Right. They're going to ask, because they get small donations, but they can't go after the larger donations. And they would like to have it, for their mill project that they're doing, which is right alongside the Pollyant Trail. So,
It would almost have to be a standalone at that point.
well, yeah. But the way they're going to work it is they're going to go to the Pollyant Trail folks, and they're going to ask if it could be channeled through their 5013C.
Smart.
Yep, it is. So we'll talk about SMART when we come back right after this. Welcome back to Minutes by Minutes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we are talking about the small town of Leonard and their village council. And the next thing we're talking about is smart business, and they did review Elmwood Street repair, which is the main street that runs through Leonard, and they worked with MDOT on it. And the first thing they needed to do is have MDOT come in and analyze the situation if there was any restraints and additional expense involved in reworking that road. And MDOT came back and they said, nope, everything's kosher, should be no problem.
How long a stretch are they talking about?
Oh, I think it's about a mile or 2 miles, roughly,
Okay.
in that area. If not, we'll say 20 miles.
Okay.
Now, the rumor...
A mile here, a mile there, and pretty soon you're talking a long distance.
Yeah, then you're into Rochester, I think. Somewhere's around there. Anyway, let me see, chloride treatment of the roads. It seems that chloride cost them about 8 cents per foot.
Is that calcium
when they lay it down.
chloride?
It's calcium chloride.
Okay.
And that was approved also for the gravel roads out in that neck of the woods. And Lord knows there's gravel.
Well, it
out
keeps
there.
the dust down.
Dirt. It does. And let me see, ordinance codification. There's a notice that went out that if somebody wanted to make changes to the code that's within their jurisdiction, that they could respond, to the council. No response. So they're going to go forward with what they have, pretty much. Only one concern that they had was rather than variations in,
What was the issue?
well, it's charges, fees, involved was one of the issues. And under the village ordinance, they have the ability to have variable charges depending on what the project is. Well, according to President McDonald, that should be more uniform within the ordinance. And so that would be the only issue that he would have is, let's look at that and make it, more uniform. So, good idea. So anyway, that's pretty much it. President's report. They're going to have they want to know about the summer festival committee, and unfortunately the chairperson was ill and unable to give that report.
Who's the chairperson?
I knew you'd ask that, so make another note. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the Oxford Township ZBA, Zoning Board of Appeals. Okay, you have, let me see, now you've got a new chairperson in charge of that. It was just appointed, and that would be Kelly Rosner Myers.
Okay.
And actually she runs...
Kelly's been on that committee for a long time.
Yeah, she has, and she's chairperson now. And she does actually a pretty good job, with it. It's going to take...
She replaces Todd Bell.
No. This is the
Oh, no,
Oxford
that's
Township
right.
ZBA.
You're right. Okay.
Boy,
I
this
was
will be a
thinking of
first.
the planning
Write this one
commission.
down. Take another note. Okay,
I
I'm not
was-
seldom ever right.
I was riding on the planning commission train.
Yeah, you were. Toot toot. There goes the smoke. Anyway, yeah, you've got Bailey on that. You got a fellow named Butler and Payne, who was absent from that. Would be Margaret Payne. And let me see, Benikowski is another guy who's a sub, but he didn't need to be there, I guess, or he was there and he filled in or something along that line. Anyway, they've got a 5-board membership that handles this thing. And they did the pledge, of course, went through the ritual of the standard, like approved the minutes and that kind of thing, and the agenda. Public, they not items on the agenda. They said, anybody here want to speak? Nope. There they went again. Train went down the tracks and the smoke you could see. But anyway, so no public wanted to speak. Regular business. They talked about residential home to rebuild. And the home was burned down, at least a good section of the home. And it's located, I believe, on 578 Maloney Avenue.
That's out by Clear Lake.
It is. And so anyway, they want to rebuild the home, but unfortunately, well, they're going to have to move closer to where the encroachment would be, but you're looking at setback of 10 feet on each side. And so they're requesting a minus 2.9 feet to the ordinance on one side, on the west side, and on the south side, 3.0 feet.
Is that the location of the original home?
No, it's a little bit more than what the original home was because they got to offset the foundation from where it was. So anyway, so they reviewed this, had a number of questions from the people that own it, and the owners are Greg Harris and Angela
Harris.
Harris. How'd you know that?
Wild guess.
Clairvoyant. Wild stab in the dark. You never know this day and age, though. He could have missed that one for sure. Bullet could have ricocheted. Anyway, so
It was dangling out there. I had to put a tail on it.
It was a dangling participle, whatever it was. Okay. Let me see. Non-conforming lot, so they had it's considered a legal non-conforming lot. In other words, all the buildings next to them or properties next to them, they all have this setback issue because they're all running close to the line. So it's considered a legal non-conforming lot. So they just had to confirm that this is what would be done, and it was discussed and it was approved.
Which is to say they're non-conforming by current code.
By current code. All right, you got it. So anyway, let me see. The second request was a variance, which was issued a request from Ace Hardware, which is located on M24.
Yeah.
And
I've been in that store. It's very nice.
it is a very nice store, and it has to do with the fence that they're requesting under the ordinance. I think they want to negate using a fence in that area. And I think that's an issue that really needs to be discussed because the ordinance is an ordinance unless they have good proof as to why they don't need it. But
Is that for
unfortunately,
storage of equipment outside or what?
it would be of storage of materials, I think.
Okay.
They use within the store
Oh, sure.
for backstock. Things like nitroglycerin,
Yoinks!
dynamite, all those little easy things you might have. Pumpkins.
He's only joking.
Right. Well, they load the dynamite in the pumpkins, and then you see the pumpkins explode. Anyway, that's a whole different story.
There goes the lawyers.
Yeah, it is. There goes the lawyers. They're going to be calling us on the phone for sure. Anyway, so that's pretty much what's going on there. Unfortunately, the folks from Ace Hardware didn't show.
Oh,
And they actually held and had a quick 10 minutes between sessions here and give them time enough to get there, but nope, didn't show. So what they do in that case is they,
table it.
yeah, how'd you know? They did.
I'm getting used to this stuff,
Yeah, they tabled it and they allowed them to reapproach the ZBA board during the next meeting. So it was postponed till the next meeting, which they have actually legally 60 days to get this thing moving if once they made the request. So 60
I'm
days,
sure they had a
and
valid
if they don't
reason
have
for
it
not
by
being
then,
there.
if they don't show up next time,
Yeah.
there they go. With that, here we go. We'll be back right after this, folks. Welcome back to Minutes by Minutes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
I'm Dave Kinney.
And we just got through talking about the Zoning Board of Appeals for the township. And now we're going to talk about the Pollyant Trail and the meeting that they had in the board. Okay?
Pollyant Trail used to be an old railroad track, basically, wasn't it?
Yep. They kicked the trains off, did away with the rails, and made it bike trails and walking trails, running trails.
What do they do with all the ties?
They tie them on.
I see.
They do. They don't tie just one on, they tie on
But they had a
several.
ready-made bed,
They do.
which was very nice.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Anyway, they're not, the bed isn't there anymore, I don't think.
Why not?
They look different. They look like they're smooth. They might still be there.
Grate them off.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of pollution there would be. That's a whole different subject. Anyway, let's talk. Mike McDonald heads up this group, and unsavory group is
Unsavory?
yeah, is Mr. Senth, Bruce Pearson. Let me see who else. Oh, Donnie Steele. She's a pretty sharp gal. Donnie Steele.
Where's
Lake Orion.
Lake Orion? Okay.
I knew you were going to ask that question.
That's
See,
why
I didn't even make you take a note.
No, you
Okay.
did.
Right. Let me see. There's Ron Silvetsky, and let's see who else. Curtis Wright, and one more. That'd be me. Okay. So anyway, so we met on March 15th
Over at Friendship Park?
over at Friendship Park. How'd you know that?
I scheduled it.
Well, once in a while we got to have him do something here, you know. Keep him out of mischief. Otherwise, you know, he gets.
Well, I didn't
wild.
schedule it, but I scheduled our video person to be out there.
Yeah, and you said make sure you don't miss this meeting. I remember
That's
that.
right.
Okay, so we made the meeting. And actually, Curtis Wright and I rode together on that. Made it over there. Made it just in time. Actually, Ron Davis pulled in just before we did.
Oh,
Ron gave a quick presentation. We'll talk about that too. Ron Davis, of course, is the director of the Parks and Recreation, you know, for the township.
does a heck of a job.
He does a very good job on top of everything. Anyway, let me see. They did the minutes, of course, for November 18th, and that was quickly approved. Bills, 2016, they approved $2,433.33. And in January's 2017 bills, they also covered that, $1,712.63. Now, you do know that this meeting, or this group, only meets about every month or so, maybe a couple months.
Every
Pass.
month.
No, last month they skipped it. That's why they had to approve the bills for
But
2 months.
basically every month.
Well, basically, how do you define basically? Okay, we'll go on.
More than blank.
This could take an hour to explain what basic is. Okay, Trail Managers Report, and that would be Linda Moran, and she does, by the way, a really good job. She pointed out that she had funding appropriated where she could buy a new lawnmower and weed whackers and things like that. And she was able to get more for the money than for the allocation than what was proposed originally. In other words, she checked out all the sales and got some good buys.
Good for her.
Gloves and everything too. So anyway, the next subject that she talked about was goats. Bad subject. Goats.
The goats, I remember the goats that are immune to poison ivy and
Yeah.
maybe poison sumac.
Yeah, they eat everything in sight, including cactus and whatever. I don't know if they have cactus
Oh.
here, but I don't know if they chew up cactus. But anyway, they'll eat almost 10 cans even. You know, so don't leave your 10 cans along the Pollyant Trail.
I think that's a myth.
It is a myth. So anyway, the cost for these goats, now they can get 20 goats, which you're going to have to fence in, you know, by using snow fence, you know, along the side. Plus, they're going to put an electric fence on the one side too. Keep the little critters when they go against it. And keep them back in line. So
Then
anyway,
they sort of leapfrog the fence.
and it's never been used for Pollyant trails or any of these trails before. So this would be quite an experiment. And Linda said she'd like to experiment or with this to the tune of $1,250 per week for 2 weeks. So the total is $2,500. Now you're wondering where the money's coming from. Well, she's already had donations, which will exceed the amount that she's going to need. And the money is earmarked when these people donate the money
Well-
directly for goats.
Yeah, and if they do a really good job, you know, you might, you know, tip
Right.
them or something.
Right. I don't know if 2 weeks will actually tell you, you know, what these goats
Well-
can do, but
You have to see how much they can clear in a given period of time. And you compare that to alternatives.
Well, Danny Steele made a presentation and noted that somebody that had worked with goats before said what they do is they do chew up everything in sight, except for certain burrs and things like that. And what happens is that once they're not encroached by these other species, the burrs go crazy. So that could be another issue. It might create a problem. So that was pointed out as a possibility that
Well,
she
like,
wasn't
like
really.
I said, there's the amount of work that gets done in a given period of time, and once again, with the burrs, how good a job it is.
Well, the thing is, when it came right down to it, Linda Moran said, we need to at least try this as an experiment. She said, if it's successful, we'll be well known for this all over the state. I said, what if it's not?
They'll get your goat.
They'll get your goat. Yeah. And of course, Bruce Pearson says, well, you can start with a trail, running through Addison. And my suggestion was, well, then if that happens, you got to milk all the goats.
Well, how big an area does one setting for the goat entail?
Oh, they'll chew up.
No, I mean, they fence them in, but how?
Oh, well, I
how
think it's
big
got
an
about
area
10
is
feet
that?
on each side, roughly,
That's it?
of the trail. Yeah, I think that's what it is,
But
about
how,
10 feet.
but how long?
Oh, miles. But they're not going to do miles. They're going to take a certain section. And the section they're going to do is the trail near Powell Lake.
Okay.
And that brings about the subject, nice segue into Ron Davis, who came to speak. He'd like to put a dock on Powell Lake. So he described the dock that he wanted to put in, and some conversation
Where exactly is
pursued.
Powell Lake?
It's not far from Stony Ridge or Stony Creek subdivision, somewhere in that neighborhood, I think.
Stony Lake or Stony Creek?
Stony Creek. Yeah, somewhere in that neck of
I'm
the
gonna
woods.
get my map out.
Yeah, check it out. Take another note. Put it on that yellow stack.
I will take
Okay.
a note on this one.
We'll do that. Okay. Also, they hired a lawn service company, Habitat Lawn Service, and the same one that they've had for the last couple of years, and they've been very pleased with it. Linda Moran said, this is the company I'd like to go with, and of course it was approved. No
Stick
problem.
with success.
Yep, and it runs about $750 per month to just mow, but they're mowing for miles.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, what's coming up?
Well, we do have a few meetings. On 3/21 at 7 o'clock, the Addison Township Fire Board. And at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Planning Commission. And at 6:30 that same day, the Oxford Board of Education's meeting at the board offices. And it's 4 meetings on the same day. At 7 o'clock, Addison Township
You have the same problem I do.
Library Board.
Got it. Good job.
I was writing fast. And on 7:23 or 3:23 at 7 o'clock, the Oxford Township Planning Commission. And on 3:27 at 4 o'clock, our parent organization, the Oxford Area Cable Communications Commission.
And this is Minutes by Minutes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kinney.
Catch you next time right here.
See you then.